Well, hello. It's another Wellness Wednesday episode. I hope you had a great, beautiful celebration of freedom yesterday. It was 4th of July when I'm recording this on the 5th. And yeah, with that word, I think there's so much that we can do. It's not only about, yes, it's the freedom that the soldiers did for our country, but how can we live in freedom every single day? Because I feel that we are imprisoned by our thoughts, our body, our beliefs, and we need to learn to let go of so many things so that we can live in freedom in our body, in our mind, in our soul. And when we can align all that, then that is when we kind of become our best version of ourselves and we can live our best life. No matter the circumstances, I feel that we can become that version of us that we're seeking and struggling and working and worrying to become. And there's a lot of things that get in the way, and sometimes that is the hardest part, figuring out what is that part of us that is getting in the way from breaking through, from doing the things, from getting healthy, from growing your business, from having a better relationship with your kids and with your spouse and with everyone. So I think it all starts here in this container. Our business is our own business, right? So I wanted to touch base on some little insights that I've had with my clients this week and see if that might help you. So if you're joining me live, say I'm live, hashtag live, and if you're joining me on the replay, do hashtag replay. I always like to know who is watching, and I like to see your comments and comment over that. So if you were to say, what is something that you're struggling with that has been hard, and you have been trying to figure out a way, and you try different avenues, different things, and it has not, especially regarding with your health, but also in your life, because everything that we struggle with is a reflection of what's happening inside. So what is one thing, if you can mention in the comments, that you have been struggling with, maybe the past year, maybe the past 2 years? Let me know in the comments, and I'll share with you, especially one of my clients, what she was struggling with. She was struggling, she's 48, and she was struggling with this belly fat, and she does not like her thighs. And so we were talking yesterday after she has gone through 8 sessions, and she was sharing that she was surprised at how some of the tools that I have taught her and she has worked with has helped her not only become more aware of her body and her thoughts and manage her thoughts to help her open the way, but she was surprised at how a year ago she had left her job and she wanted to do something with her life, but she didn't know how. She kind of had an idea of where she wanted to go, but she didn't know how. And she had no idea. She had put it in the backfire, on the bottom of the list, right? But as she started making changes with the food that she was eating, she was able to elevate her energetic state. That's why I always like to start with food, because food is a big energy driver or drainer. And I have talked about this before, but it's so important. When we eat better quality foods and more whole foods, then our energy rises, and then we have better brain function to make better decisions. So if we want to elevate that energy, is not only with exercise. We need to eat properly so that we can elevate that energetic state that we want, so that we can open up and channel that energy so that we can receive the things also that we want. So She has gone through making changes in the way she was eating, what she was eating. I also walk them through an exercise to how or who you are being while you're eating. Your emotional state while you're eating is very, very important to break down digestion and to speed up the metabolism so you can really absorb your nutrition better. And then I also walk her through a series of meditations so she could recognize in her body where is an emotion or stuck energy in her body, and usually is manifested through pain. So yesterday it was really beautiful because when she was able to relax in such a way through this meditation, and she was able to recognize and pinpoint a time in her life where she felt she was somebody had told her in the doctors when she was a teenager that that's the way her body was going to react, and the increase of weight was going to get like that all the time. I don't remember the details really quickly, really specifically, but the fact is that that story that somebody said, it was not even her mother, it was a mother of a friend of hers, and she made meaning out of that story or that phrase that that woman had told her. And the intention behind that was not even what she assumed, but that is what happens when we are growing up. Maybe we're 5, 6, 7 years old. We assume and we make meaning out of a story, and then out of that story, it's how our entire life is working. So if you have felt stuck in an area of your life for a very long time, and you have been struggling with your relationships or with weight loss or with figuring out things, and your emotional state is not quite there, she had already kind of retracted herself from making more friends, from doing activities with friends, and that was all based on that story. And this past week she said, Maaike, guess what? I was really happy because I was able to create a little gathering with 8 friends, and it turned out really well. And we naturally would assume that that is natural, right? Like for everyone, it's like, duh, that is so simple. Well, it's not. For her, it was not. So once she opened up that, she felt so good, and now in her body too. So whatever we're doing or not doing, then we are living from this story that is in our unconscious mind. And when we bring forth to that unconscious emotion to the conscious, then we're able to figure out what it is that we want to do. But it takes a while of some certain steps that have to happen, that kind of with food, with movement, and being really consistent in the conversation, because that's the way we start navigating towards what is the real deal, what is happening. And sometimes we don't know, but the partnership in conversation with a coach, that can help you so much learn on what is happening behind the scenes. And it's the everyday thing. So we're creatures of habit. When we allow ourselves to break a habit and replace it for something, the thing with diets a lot of times is that the diet deprives you from something, so you want that more. So what it is, when we start overlapping a habit towards doing something different, then you don't feel an emptiness, like a hole, right? Or we are kind of doing something on top of something else, and then you feel like, oh, you feel good, you feel fulfilled, you feel content, because you're not missing. We don't like to be lacking. We don't like to feel that the body rebels when you're feeling like there's nothing coming up, right? And when you start having something that feels really good, your body's kind of relaxes and wants to do that much more often. So when we try different kinds of food, when we try different kind of exercises, that's another thing. Sometimes we think that doing over exercising is going to give us the results in our body that we want. Guess what? That is a stressor for the body. So when the body feels a little bit of stress, then it's kind of inflates. It's like that is when we start having the belly and the body starts protecting because it does not like to be under attack. So when we start to ease and feel the peace and breathe and meditate and journal, all the things, then the body relaxes and allows everything to open up so that we can listen to that internal messages that we have. So that session we were talking about gut wisdom and self-intuition, which is a beautiful session that I absolutely love because we have an internal intelligence, and when we learn to discover that, you'll see how synchronicities start happening. Then you appreciate nature even more. Today I was like you always like I always like to say, it's like Wednesday is my day that I go out for a run in nature, and I like to adventure what it is that I find along the way. And today I saw a deer that was watching me, and I was just kind of admiring that, and just the joy of being outside in nature, the fresh air. Sometimes we just need that to break free of the pattern and the the structure that we have, and then break free through that and just allow yourself to do something that is more enjoyable. When you do that, the body relaxes and it's able to be more creative. So I need to share with you a little example of another client, and she says, well, my most desire is to go to Africa and have my children have that experience of Africa. And that might happen in 3 years. Well, 3 years is a long time, right? To all the things that have to build up to get there. And what I shared with her is like, what if you lived each day as if you were in an adventure of going to Africa, experiencing all those little things, the joy, the connection, the nature, going outside, and create and build that that structure in your day as if you were in like an adventure, a trip, that there's like freedom of space, freedom of action, freedom of say, freedom of communication, freedom to go for a walk. And when we are allowing ourselves to create that space in our days, it's amazing how our mind becomes more creative. And then when we thought that we didn't have any creativity, it starts coming. So it's very hard. It's very hard to kind of break free of that routine that we already have. It's like to go, 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 go. But the more we allow ourselves to slow down, the more we see the acceleration in that direction that we want to go. So today, I just wanted to share those little insights. I hope this has been helpful for you. And I am going to be doing a metabolism reset. Next Sunday, we're going to be talking about it. And again, it's so important when we do a little reset in our body, the brain also resets. And it's not like a juice cleanse. When we do a cleanse, it's so much more. It's learning and recognizing in your body how food interacts with you, and that way you can release the foods and figure out what are the foods that are causing inflammation in your body, so that you can finally let go of those foods so that your body starts functioning better. When your body and your gut start feeling better, then your brain starts working better, and your lifestyle becomes much nicer and flowing, more in freedom, because you're no longer attached to those things that were causing you cravings, that were causing you indigestion, that were causing sleepless nights. When you're aware of what are the things that are causing that, you will no longer do those things. No, you will no longer have those habits or eat those things, because you know how you feel when you have them. And you know what happens? That is when you start getting in control of your life and in your health. That for me is freedom. That is freedom of living the way that you need to live to expand and create the beautiful life that you want to create. So with that, I leave you. I hope you're having a freedom week. And what is one thing that you are going to start doing today to feel a little bit more in freedom? What are you going to allow yourself to do today, not tomorrow, today, to feel good with yourself? What makes you feel good? Let me know in the comments. Have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.